but that's
Yep,
because
right.
you've already hit your top dasher. And we'll
I've
get
already
into
hit
that
it.
later.
So I'm
You're
doing,
cherry picking now.
I'm
Yeah.
cherry picking just like everybody else right now. There's no difference on what I'm doing. I'm doing it exactly how you're doing it. But this is now, let me go with the tiers real quick. Let's go back to this real quick. Might be a little long winded, but I'll try and make it like less than a minute for you guys. Important information right here. I have explained this to the members in my Discord, and by explaining this information, I've seen literally 100% success rate with everybody's that has taken initiative and with an open mind and said, well, let me drop what I think real quick and let me exercise a day doing that real fast and let me see if it works. And people's eyes just light up instantly when they see it, which is amazing. I think it's awesome. If you guys don't believe me, check out the Discord. It's on my channel. Click on the descriptions. It's everywhere. But you guys can go in and we have chat rooms and pictures and everything of data every single day of 20 or 30 or 40 top dashers in there right now, dropping data. Back to catering. Let's not get off subject here. So the catering list, right? It's out of 100%. This is your acceptance rate, right? But in order for you to be in the highest of catering, you have to have a 100%. Well, I wouldn't say 100% rate, but you have to have at least a 90% acceptance rate. And then you can apply for the wait list and you'll get right in. That's all I did. I went to 90%, applied for the wait list. One day later, here came the email, and I was like, wow, this is...
Let me ask you a question. Did you apply for that before with a lower acceptance rate?
No. As soon as I hit Top Dasher, then the list, and just to make sure everything looks kosher as you're going in, that you're not trying to come in with a low stat. Like, think of it like an employee. You're applying for a position, and they look at you real quick, and they go, well, this is your average. We're looking for this right now. You know, they're not going to say it to you, you know? So this list of where we think these orders at. The catering, the subtotals is the most important thing. So let's go to dollars. I get huge orders depending on the market restaurants. My on-time release 99.13. So we believe that when you're in the large order in the catering, you're receiving orders over $100 of subtotal, right? Right underneath that is, I would call that tier 1. And then tier 2 is top dasher, which would be 70% all the way up to, 90% or whatever it is before the catering. And now as you're a top dasher, once you get above 69%, you're in 70% or higher, you have now what we call, like I've said, a priority access to $35 to $75 subtotal. So now the range of 35 to 75 has opened up once you become a top dasher.
Yeah, and I've seen that. I think you did a video in the last 2 weeks, and I remember seeing that whiteboard, and you broke it down into those. So I really
wish I had this picture. If I
do remember that.
It'd be so easy.
I do remember that.
But now, if you have, say, an acceptance rate between 0 and 69%, which means you're not a top dasher, you're just doing the best of cherry picking to get the best of your zone, then what you do is you have options of just $0 total. You're not going to get a zero unless somebody orders 1 cent of something, which I don't know if you can. But it'd be from $0 to $29 of subtotals, and these are the frequent orders that you're going to get. Not to say, we'll go back to this tier thing, or think of like a plinko board, right? As you drop something, it falls down between. If an order comes in and say it's above $100, so it qualifies for a catering order. If a catering person is not online, then it's going to fall down to the next part of the list, which is top dasher, right? And if a top dasher is not online or they're all busy, then the algorithm will just go to the next part, which is now 69% and below. So the first person that's online in that specific zone with 69% acceptance will see the offer first.
So you're saying that when I get these offers, because I get them every day, if I have DoorDash, and some days I'm doing Uber or more Instacart, so but there could be a day or two where I get 2 or 3 or 4 of these, right? But on average, it's at least 1 or 2 a day, right? So you're saying that by your guys' theory and what you guys have seen is that it's at Plinko. Okay, well, there's no top dasher on, or they're on something else,
or they're busy, or they're offline,
or maybe they declined it for whatever reason,
or there's an order on their phone that they haven't hit decline yet, so they're busy.
So then eventually, what you're saying is it falls to the bottom of me, because my acceptance rate is 18%.
Hold on. Well, it won't matter right now. It mattered what you closed out on the 31st of the month at 11:59 p.m. That's your stat.
That's to start the month.
Right now, the number is completely arbitrary for the rest of the days right now through the month. It really does not matter what your percentage
because you would have had to go back last week to see what it was, is what you're saying. And I have no idea.
If you have no idea, then you don't know where you are.
When I end my month, it doesn't matter to me.
It doesn't matter. Yeah.
Because I'm like, fuck it, I don't care. Like it doesn't, it just doesn't matter, right? Let me ask you a couple questions. I appreciate the candor. Okay, I want to ask you a couple of questions. Let me see. So how many days does it take you or your group of TMB boys out in Vegas on your Discord at the end of the month? How many days far out are you having to get up to that 70? You know, is it 2? Is it 3? Is it 4? Is it 5? Is it a week to get up to that 70 to where you start the next month as a top dasher? And a second part of that question is, how many bad orders do you have to take? And do you ever feel like, man, this sucks? Do you ever have those moments of like, I cannot believe I'm taking this $3 order going 6 miles. I delivered it. This person's, you know, they're miserable. They didn't tip me. And a third part of that, because you know how I rock, man. A third part of that is, do you ever get cash tips? So when you're trying to get top dasher, you know, at some point you got to take 1 or 2 bad orders, right? It is what it is. It's part of the game, right? And you're playing a game. I get it. I respect that. How often do you get cash tips? So kind of break us down with some of those.
All right. So hold on. First part was how many bad orders, right?
How many days do you have to take some crap? How many days? Orders. And then, and really the only other thing I want is like, are you ever really feeling like, man, this sucks for these days? I'm going to do it though, because I see there's perks for me at the end or the beginning of the month, right? And then how many cash tips do you get from people that don't tip on the app? What's the ratio for you? I'm just curious because I don't take a lot of those, so I don't really know. I can't speak from experience, but I feel like you might take more of those than me within a month. So,
okay, so how many bad orders I would say it would take, right? We'll just address that. Or no, actually, let's address how you feel about it, because this is the leading up. You know, when you lead up to go do something, you get maybe anxiety, or you think it through, and you put scenarios. You know, you run a million scenarios on what could happen before you start to go, right? And a lot of people shake themselves and they fear themselves out of even trying to go for something. So I think it just takes a lot of mental fortitude to take an order to somebody that doesn't tip. So I feel there's techniques or ways to kind of trick yourself. Me, at that point, I'm not looking at the dollar, because I know in the end of the day, by doing it for 2 months and watching my friend do it for 3 months before me, and then watching other people do it, that you won't lose money at the very end of your going for top dasher. Just call it a block, right? Your top dasher block. If you worked those days and you did your orders and you went to say 70%, I feel it would be impossible to lose money. There's
overall. Are you saying overall? But on some singular orders,
on a singular order, you may eat that order, but it would be damn near impossible for you to catch 70 250s in a row. You know what it would be. It's like, it's impossible.
Sure.
The reason why you may say I see so much junk in a day is because you do decline a 450, and then a 550 comes in, and then a 350 comes in, and you saw 3 orders in 19 or 20 or a minute, and you saw 350 orders. But if you would have just taken the 450 on the first one, top dasher right now, then you would have never seen the other 2, and you wouldn't actually decline as many as you think in the day, and you'd be busy during that 15 or 20 or 30-minute block that it took you to do it. And you would be right on to a next one, and on to a next one, and on to a next one. So I think there's kind of a fear that people conjure up, you know, of these scenarios of, man, it might not work out. So I feel you just
I call it pettiness. I'm petty, bro. I call it I'm petty. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just
you want to put it.
I'm petty. I'm 40. I ain't got time for the games. You're a little younger than me, I could tell. I just don't want to deliver.
I'm 34. It's not very far away. So,
man, I thought you were like 25. Okay,
not even. Right. So check it out. I graduated in 2006. I grew up before the internet existed, bro. I know. I grew up before cell phones were even in high school and people. So I'm right there with you. I grew up when you came on, when the street lights came on. You know. So
okay. Cool. Right, I thought you just looked a little younger. So my
apologies. Oh yeah, for sure. So, if I took my hat off, you'd realize why I wear a hat every day.
Makes sense now. I was wondering. Okay, yeah.
Let's shake glasses it, right?
Too. Yeah,
there it is.
Okay, there we go.
There it is.
Now I see it.
That puts the age there, right?
Listen, y'all. We just got to reveal.
We'll put it this way, guys. Don't be a general manager for 7 years for U-Haul, because you will lose your fucking mind.
Oh, listen, bro. I worked at Applebee's, man. I got you beat there. I worked at Applebee's for like 15 years, so I feel you. Trust me, I feel that. But so let's get back to. I'm just petty. So like for me, like it's like and I understand this about myself. I'm learning. I'm petty. I got a little bit of my pride gets in the way. And I think I'll say this, and some might not agree. I think we tend to dog the top dashers because a lot of us might be too prideful. At least I'll speak for myself. I'm not going to speak for everybody in the chat. I'm too prideful at moments. I don't want to take a $2 or $3 order. I take $4 sometimes because I feel like, hey, there's a $2 tip. It's going a mile. It's slow. I'll do that all day. It makes good money sense for me, right? Plus, I'm making something versus just twiddling my thumbs in my car.
Yeah,
but for me, I'm too prideful. I can't take $2 and $3. I just can't do it. For me, and I also feel like typically in the few experiences that I've had and what I've heard from other people, those tend to be the customers that aren't going to give you great delivery instructions. They might say they didn't get their food. There's going to be some issue at the drop off. they just generally might not respect the Dasher as often or as much, at least in my experience, right?
Yeah.
So do you ever, you know, I'm sure you've run into that. How do you combat that? Just share with us some of the things you do to stay positive while you're taking these $2-3 orders.
Let me address the bad orders, and it'll walk right into that. So my bad orders, how many I get going for Top Dasher. I have a certain area or areas that I like to sit in my city against my hot zones when I go for Top Dasher. So for instance, I'm not going to drive into the middle of a hot zone where I know that just orders are flying like crazy, where the shit is at. So I will literally sit outside of a hot zone on the perimeter of it or so, in a smaller area, knowing that I'll catch trickles of stuff that comes out of that area going to a smaller place. And then I don't catch something that goes 14 miles out of my way. Another big one also is when you do get an order and you do drop it off, just make sure that you pause your dash instantly. You know, when you drop off, that you pause, so that you don't drop off your order at the person's house and get a Taco Bell for $2.58 miles because everybody declined it as you were on an order. So now you're next in line to receive the shit. Right. So there's strategies that you have to think of. There's more to it than just meets the eye. I'm not just going out there and taking shit orders. You know, I'm not out here to lose money just like you guys. But I also, at the same time, do have to maybe take a hit on an order, but it's never a loss of money at the very end. If I can still make $700 at the end of the week, let's put this into perspective. I made $800 every 2 weeks as a general manager, making $30,000 a year for a company that makes billions of dollars a year. So to come to DoorDash and be able to make $200+ a day, man, my expenses are in the low $1,000s for a month. For me,
is that why you feel? Because in some of the videos I've watched, I know you talk about, hey, don't whine, don't complain. You know what I'm saying? I feel like you're maybe a little more grateful for the gig apps, whereas some of us content creators, even myself, first off, I'm very grateful. I've said it, but there are also times
they're the best thing that's ever happened to us.
Well, listen, it's the best. Listen, I can agree with you. It's the best thing that's happened to me because I've been able to fold it into other things, and I have a lot of freedom and flexibility. And I think when you're working at U-Haul, when you're working at Applebee's or whatever, right, a corporate giant that's $1 billion entity, they don't care about you.
Nope.
The same, and you know, neither does DoorDash.
Neither does DoorDash, exactly.
And DoorDash shouldn't in some ways because it's a business, just like any other. It's a bit. They're going to do what they do, right? But like, do you feel like because of that gratitude that you have, like you just said, right? You didn't like U-Haul, you hated it. You're feeling like you're able to have more of a positive spin, even when you have to take those small orders.
Yeah, because I'll treat every customer the same. You know, I don't treat anybody differently because let's bring it back to general manager. If I was a general manager, I probably couldn't have ordered DoorDash. Even if I did not even tip, I probably couldn't have afforded the service fee and the delivery fee or Dash Pass. You know, I was broke, and a lot of people know that. And even if you're driving for DoorDash right now and you're essentially paycheck to paycheck, or you make just enough money, you're still living the rat race of what a W-2 person works. And what DoorDash provided for me was a break from the rat race to where I was able to pay all my bills in the first 10 days of the month. And I have 20 days to coast. I'm not going to coast. I see opportunity. And this is where the DoorDash channel come from. And, you know, doing YouTube and connecting with more content creators. I'm a different person than I was 2 years ago. You know, if you're still dashing exactly the same way as a year ago, you can't. You know, you've already changed things, right? You've seen DoorDash change something, so you had to change it in just a little bit. It would have been possible. You know, even in the last year, we've seen the base pay go down, these $4.50 for long trips, and the bullshit that they share, right?
Yeah. No, I get that. I like that you said that because I resonate with that. Let's read this comment. So let's get back. How many days does it take to make Top Dasher?
Yeah.
Blah, 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 bing, bing, bing. This is from U.S. Army 11 Bravo. I think he works in your area. He says he knows you.
Shout out, man.
Shout out. Yeah, he's definitely a supporter of this channel. So how many days does it take you to get there? And
for basic 70%, I would say if you're sitting at like 18% today, it would take you no more than a day and a half. It'd probably take you about 36 to 45 deliveries from there to get to 70%. You know,
so let's say 40 deliveries. So yeah, that for me in my market, that's like 2 days.
2 days. So I'd say in a day and a half to 2 days, like if you want to hustle it, wake up at 7 in the morning and drive to like 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night, you'd be able to do 20, 25 deliveries.
Yeah, I ain't doing it. I'm not working that much. But yeah, I think, you know, everybody has their own time frame. For me, I can't be 12 hours in a car. Not anymore.
Well, here, instead of doing it like that, there's a better way of doing it than just going like straight and burning yourself out. Right. Is if you want 70%, you would break 70% into a 100 block. right? Because it's the last 100 orders you did. So if you took 70 and divided by 5, it'd be 14. So you would only have to take 14 deliveries per 5 days. And you would also be able to decline up to 6 deliveries per day also, right? Because
that makes sense.
Right? Because it would be 20 per day, 100 orders total that have cycled to your phone. So this is where a lot of people think, well, I have to take the shit. Well, no, you don't actually have to take that shitty order. Even if it was 14 miles, you can use one of your declines. And imagine if you have one good day where you didn't have to decline that many. You just took them, you did your thing, and you got 4 extra declines. Now you've got 10 the next day. Right.
So what? Let me ask you a question. So I had it written down here. It goes to that. So I heard a theory, and I was like, this is I couldn't wrap my brain around it because I'm just, I never say never, but I'm at like less than 1% that I would ever go for Top Dasher. You know, I just not that guy. You know, I think if I made the content on my channel, people would love it, but I'm not making videos just for that, right? Not for the clicks and views. I just can't, you know, in my market, I feel like I make good enough money. Plus I'm multi-app. So I've heard somebody say, okay, so I'm at 18% right now. Let's just say I'm still at 18% and it's the 29th or 30th of this month, right? And I wanted to be Top Dasher. In theory, couldn't I reject 100 deliveries in a row on my phone? And I could do that in one day. I could literally turn my DoorDash app on.
You'd be at 0%.
I'd be at 0%.
And then
but if I kept track, right, for a day, let's say I wasn't, you know, and I wrote it down, put it in my memo, my notepad, and I said, okay, I just declined 100 in a row. I'm at 0% because I've been to 0% twice, right?
I've been multiple times, dude.
Yeah, and I don't care. So I'm like,
no,
and they sent me a good order, right?
Well, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. If I got to 0%, then it starts over because it's a rolling, correct?
It's a rolling 100. It's the
so
next
then if it starts over, if I take the 101 order, then does that put me at 100? Then I take like 2 or 3.
It puts you at 1%. It's whenever you decide to take one order, think of it like your block starts there. Your 100 block starts there. If any of you play roulette or have seen a roulette wheel, how you can see the previous numbers, you can see the last of the numbers that have been played. Think of that like your deliveries, the last of your deliveries that you did previously. Well, you literally have 100 of them sitting behind you that you've done. So when you do the next delivery, the first one falls off, right? It's just they keep cycling. You know what I mean? One comes on, one drops off. Yeah. Okay, so that's all you're doing. So when you start Top Dasher and you want to go for 70%, it doesn't matter what your percentage is. At the end of the 5 days, if you just follow math, 14 each day and decline 6 each day, and you can save declines or not, then you would have 70% at the very end of 5 days. If you wanted to do it in 4 days, then, you know, just 70 into 4, you know, you just kind of divide it real quick, you know.
So when you're building up at the end, if let's say it's 2 days for you, right? Let's just say the last 2 days, it's 30th and 31st. Yeah. How are in those particular 2 days, right? How much less are you making if you are versus, let's say, the first 2 days of the next month? Does that make sense? Like, are you making less?
Yeah. Okay.
You're trying to get to 70%?
I'll get to just go for the number to achieve it. It's about 130, about 130 to 160 bucks is what I'll make in a day. Going for 20. Okay. So this is me going for 20 per day
versus $200 on a normal day.
Well, I just stop at $200. I don't, I could, my market can make 400 out here. Guys are doing it every day, and people are like, you only make 200.
If you push the limit, I could do this. I could make $300 with DoorDash. I already know it, but I'm not going to work 14 hours.
I need a balance in my life. I can't only do that. At 8 o'clock at night, I have to kind of go home and run my YouTube channel and make videos and mix stuff and edit, right? So there's another 2 or 3 or 4 hours after, you know, work or, you know, after DoorDash to do the second job, you know, so it's a consistent grind of doing it. So I don't lose any money because I have the perk of working less. So the last 2 videos that I put on my video or on my channel, I only worked 6 hours and I made $200 each 6-hour block. So that's pretty damn good right there. And I only did like 12 deliveries to get $200. I mean, that.
So let me ask you,
there is very good.
Let me stop you there because I want to push on you a little bit.
Yeah.
So you work 2 6-hour blocks, right? And you can make $200. Yeah.
Oh, 2 separate days. So six hours on one day, and I made 200, and then 6 hours the next day. And there's 2 videos showing 2 different times that I just did it back to back. It's not like I'm kind of saying that it's consecutive. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's not just a one lucky time that I worked 6 hours and made $200.
Sure, because you can get some great, crazy unicorn orders or like a good tipping customer, and it can inflate that number a little bit, right? And help your hourly and your whole day.
So check this. If you went onto my channel 3 months ago, you'll see that I went to work at like 10:30 in the morning and got off at 10 o'clock at night. And I barely hit $200. I was grinding the whole entire day. No breaks between say 2 and 4 when it's slow, just grinding it. Right. And now I don't have to sit out there as long. Yes, I can make more money. I'm just making the same average that I need to support myself. And everybody's
everybody's situation is different. It's all personal. Everybody's bills are different. Your work-life balance is different. I work right now, like when I first started with DoorDash full-time in 2021, so it's been a year and a half since I've gotten rid of my W-2. I was working 6-7 days a week some weeks, and I was grinding to learn my market. I needed the money. And then as I started making money on YouTube and doing other things, I started working less, which is for me how it should be, right? You got to have a balance. You can't, I could work 12 hours a day and make $350, but I don't want to do that. Like, it's just, that's not my lifestyle right now. Right. But I think it's what you said is important because it's all personal. Most people that do this work do it part-time. Most people don't do it like we do it, and how the 424, shout out to the 424 in the chat. Appreciate y'all.
I've seen that.
Yeah. So yeah, there we go. Shout out to the smokers out there. Most people don't do it as much as we do it, or care as much either. I think we can agree on that. Like, most people that do this do it part-time. They want to make a couple $100 a week. I think DoorDash is great for that. You can pay off debt. You can pay off this. You can do that. Have a little cash money, whatever. But like, I think having a balance is super important, because for me, like, I'm working like 6 hours a day. Like, that's my cap. I got other things going on, So when you talk about, it sounds like you're grinding to get that top dasher, because in your market, you see benefits, right? In my market, I can't speak to it, and I'll be honest, because I've never done it.
You don't have it right now, so it's too hard to compare the difference. But what's awesome is I know someone in your market. You have to know someone in your market that dashes with you, and you see them frequently, right? You gotta be someone that watches your channel that's going to be a top dasher. There's going to be closet top dashers from this conversation.
Oh, no, sure. But I will say this as well, Richard. I have a lot of people, like hundreds at this point, that tell me, hey, I was taking every order before, and now I'm making more money by not.
Well, of course, that's what I said. It's going from just taking everything to becoming a beginner top dash or beginner dasher, where you're like, wow, I didn't have to take that. I can just cherry pick, and you get introduced to cherry picking. Then you go online, and then you see the shitstorm of people that just said top dasher shit, because cherry picking was like their focus. But that's why I'm standing here today, taking the risk, putting my balls on the line, saying, hey guys, it's a bit different, and I'll take the flack. I'll take everybody that wants to call me a clown. It's fine, because like we said, it's how much money you want to make for your market. But what I know is that I'm saying with truth, and I'm not trying to be cocky or, an asshole or anything. I have confidence behind it, because I didn't do it, and then I did do it. And now I've also taught people in different markets. So it's not just Las Vegas, it's gone across the entire nation in my Discord right now. And everybody that's tried it and took the advice has prospered from it and made more and seen more. So by seeing that motivates me to just want to say to other people, hey guys, it's working. But I don't want to be mean to anyone. I don't want to say you guys need to do it. You can't tell anybody what to do in the world. You have to lead through example or through influence, and people will adapt and be like, whoa, I want to try that also.
Yeah.
So I
get that. But I would say this, because listen, me, I ramble. Like, I tell people what to do. I don't care. I think that if you're so confident about it, you need to be more willing to say, hold up, you guys are wrong. I got the special sauce. You know what I'm saying? Like, we have to be willing to go out on the limb. And I think you're doing that because you're making content that's very different than 97% of the content creators, right? So you're going against the grain, which is cool. I think we need to have different perspectives and also realize markets are different. But if what you're saying, and if you feel it 100%, you need to be challenging more people. You know what I'm saying? Because if you've got the evidence to back it up, don't worry about what Pedro says. Like, I know you don't, but you know what I'm saying? Like, go out and be more abrasive about it. Be like, hey,
I'll lead through example. Because like I said, I don't want to be an asshole to anybody. I'm not here to say I'm better than anybody or that if you don't do this, then you're not doing the right thing. It's not like that at all. I feel I just found more information on the DoorDash app. And if people are complaining about certain orders or bad shit, there is an answer to it. And as much as people don't want to believe it, it's top dasher. If you want to be the true cherry picker, the true top cherry picker, it's top dasher is what it is, because they delegate the orders to you. And the only way for this message to truly get across to the community is for, say, content creators like you to help interview and push it out. This is one interview, right? And there's a lot of the main players watching this, and this is going to go into the ether for the next few months for people to watch.
Oh no, I get it.
If you were to
I ain't pushing it. I'll interview you, but
if
you know
were to
me,
take,
bro.
Yeah, I know. If you were to take a chance. So for me, it's a grind, and I'll be there. I'll have the 100K subscribers. I'll get that wave of people and influence coming in, just like you're doing, you know. I'm here because of you, Pedro. You've inspired me also. You know, you don't know the ripple effect that you create on people because they'll never actually tell you.
No, I get that. I get that. I will say this. I want to kind of round out this a little bit. I'm sure you watch Nugs, yeah?
Of course.
Okay, who doesn't? Like Nugs is in my opinion, the GOAT of entertainment.
He's the entertainment capital.
Yes, he's the GOAT of it. It's not even close. You know, shout out to Nugs. But he did this. He tried Top Dasher, and I think he did it in his market. I think he was Ohio or something.
He did it with him and his girlfriend Kayla.
And his girlfriend, and he didn't recommend it. He was like, hey, it sucked. It didn't, Now that's one man's perspective in a different market than you and I. What do you say to that? Because he tried it, in a similar fashion that you did.
I say there's not enough. He didn't have enough information. If I was able to speak to him and he was to come hang out in a Discord and analyze orders real quick, even with you, I mean, I would be willing to just show you, and then you will see a difference. Even with non-Top Dasher, you guys are declining a lot of stuff you don't realize has hidden tips on it. That's the biggest thing, is the hidden tips.
Well, hold on. I'll say this. I can spot hidden tips. I feel nothing's 100%, but I feel very confident.
I'll say this with confidence. I'm 90 to 95% confident on every single one of them. And you can go into my Discord and see when I take them, I always get bigger ones than what I've actually accepted.
Me too. I usually say I'm 95%, and I can guess it within a dollar or two.
Yep.
Sometimes I'm surprised, but it's very rare. When you do this enough, you see the merchant,
this is
item count, subtotal. It's very easy if you've done it enough. But yeah, I could totally spot a hidden tip from a mile away. I don't need para or nothing.
What's awesome about that is with a Top Dasher account, you would see, I know, would experience the difference instantly because you've dashed for so long. You would be like, wow, what the is happening with this? Are you serious? So it's crazy to know that there's the other spectrum there. It exists, and it still exists for non-Top Dashers. It's just the trickle effect, though. Yes, you get a catering order. Yes, you're going to get a large order. Yes, you're going to get a $70 order. Yes, you're going to get, a $500 order from Capriotti Sandwiches Catering or something like that. It's going to happen because not everybody is always online, and this is what people call unicorns. And I just want to say, as a Top Dasher, unicorns are not unicorns. They're daily occurrences. We see herds of them. And they come out at night. They fucking love the nighttime.
Yeah, interesting. So if you got some time, I'd like to bring a few more people in. You got a little time?
I'm good for 4 hours, bro.
Cool. All right, let's go. Well, I'm not good for 4 hours. Hey, I want to say I appreciate you. I've been hounding you the last week, trying to get you on. Appreciate you doing that, because I understand. Listen, I have a show. A lot of people watch. I get it. I'm honored that people watch. I'm humbled. But I understand coming in, I know, hey, most people in here aren't Top Dashers. They're going to call you this. And I know you don't care about that. That's why I wanted to bring you on, because I knew you could have a conversation and we could do it respectfully. And what my stance is. I know yours, but we could come together and just, maybe some people can say, you know what? Nah, you know what? Pedro's right. Or some other can say, you know what? Nah, Richard's right. I might want to try that.
Look at both sides.
It's all good.
Or what's cool about the non-Top Dashers right now, you haven't seen my side. And if you haven't checked it out, like I said, go into Discord. We have data for you, not just someone's opinion of something. I'm not saying you, not that, but there's data. You have data of hundreds of videos. That's your data. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
But you have people that go on Reddit and put one comment. That's not data. You know what I mean? That's one person's opinion one time. Absolutely. So I have months of data inside Discord for you guys to read and compare and check real quick and see how many deliveries you do, see what your active time is, see what your data is.
So how do people find your Discord?
Right now,
they go to your videos, maybe
just go to my videos. It's linked in the description and pinned to the top of the comments also. So that's the best way to find it.
And listen, guys, I'll say this before I bring the people. I see Bud Soda still in here, Cliff Dog, and I see Jared. I'll bring you guys in a moment. If you got any questions or we just want to vibe for another 5 or 10, even if you don't want to be Top Dasher, his channel is entertaining. It is what it is. So I like that, because I don't have to agree with somebody or feel like they're right to like what they got going on over there. You know what I'm saying? So go check them out, hit subscribe, watch a couple videos. If you like it, hit subscribe. At the end of the day, we can all have different opinions on things. Because in my opinion, at this point, what I've learned about making the million freaking videos I've done and all the rambling and all my opinions, I've called Top Dashers clowns and you can't deliver to miserable people. Like, it's all on record. I've said it 1,000 freaking times. It's annoying, right? But at the end of the day, where I stand right now, after learning and talking to different people with different perspectives, I think, Richard's talking about, he's breaking down the algorithm. He's got this Plinko effect and it's trickle. And I get it. That's his opinion. But he's saying he's got facts, right? Data to back it up and his experience. For me, what I talk about is I think it's really hard to know this algorithm. I think there's some coincidences here and there. There's some skill. But I think the algorithm can be different market to market sometimes, depending on the amount of dashers on that day, how oversaturated or undersaturated your market is, your demographics of your market, order flow. I think there's a lot of other things that we don't even really know about, right? And that's what I've seen, at least for me, because I've done, I don't know how many deliveries you got. I'm at 6,500 on DoorDash. I'm at like 11,000 deliveries lifetime, or actually, and that's only in like 2.5 years. So I feel like, I've seen enough of it here and there, but I think it's cool that we could have a conversation about different perspectives, different markets. Because I know right now, I've heard from other drivers out like where you're at, and they say they can't get nothing. Maybe it's because they're not Top Dasher. I have no idea. I can only speak from St. Louis. In my opinion, if you're Top Dasher here, you might be, probably you're losing out on money, because I still get really good orders. And I noticed that you do a lot of red cards. So do I. I think a lot of your orders.
I believe you said the algorithm's changing. I believe it's fluid, as in it's like water. You don't know how many customers have ordered,
Sure.
which you don't know what subtotals are sitting out there. You don't know what dashers have signed in online to pair themselves with X orders, or when we like to call priority person. If you've delivered to them a bunch of times, they give you a 5-star, and you could sign online and you could steal an order from someone real quick.
Yeah,
I've done it by sitting next to a Top Dasher. He's been to the person's house 8 times. I've been twice. He goes the 9th time, even though we're sitting right next to each other. It's like, why did that happen? And that's where we put our theories together, right? We say this might be X because of Y.
Sure, absolutely, absolutely. So let me see if I'm going to bring, I don't know if I'm going to bring these guys in real quick. So let's just see if these guys are still here. They're still up.
So Nova, yes, I basically cherry pick for most of the month. And then at the last 5 days, I'll go for Top Dash. I do 20 deliveries per day. And I do that 5 days. And if no mistakes happen, I try and get 100%, because I believe if I'm on top of the list, I see it all.
Bud Soda, you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hold on one second. Cliff Dog, you still there? Nope. But Jared, are you there?
Hey guys, how you doing?